Welcome to our bulletin for midday. I'm MFA Kosia Adeti. But let's bring you House of Residents in Kumasi having reacted about the removal of Dr. Akuffo-Dampare as Inspector General of Police, saying they will remember him for his selfless leadership. They tell JoyNews they will miss his charisma and how he attended to families when they were in a security breach.
He was a grassroots IGP. He wouldn't stay in Accra to solve issues.
Now you're friendly, like social media now. The
IGP was a friendly leader. His humbleness, I feel he brought stability to the service.
No, I'm crying now. If you go, no, them create chocolate. Maybe I don't get a say, or justice, or you're no powerful. I'm friendly, you may agro, and they did to me.
Our leaders can really disappoint us. Why would you change or replace a working public servant?
Also, buy so man, Yentin now buy. Also, Bano be a Jumacama brand new unit. And on that, say, what?
In fact, I will beg Mama on my Ghana.
He has really worked. The assaults on drivers on our roads were reduced.
And one qua, Papa, you didn't run qua, and nephew. Almost at a
Only yesterday, after his replacement, the police are now on our roads again, disturbing us.
Your best about a Nadiano, only the answers of bar, or when I only took my near Hunter. Or maybe a dollar for one moment, the areas were quite a Beccaino. Dollar for the Beccaino, actually say, now, oh. Police now, 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 free 100 years. As I'm going to say, about we bus starting.
For us drivers, we remember the sanity he brought on our roads. The police were assaulting and taking 10 cities from us each day.
Airport run about here. You need now so nobody to 10 cities. So the 10 cities in Basa Panu to Yatrea. That very sign I will be now. It didn't parry the Ebekaino. Ebekaino.
Still on security, Interior Minister Alhaji Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak is asking private security companies to ensure their members are properly trained and accredited to avoid being disbanded, addressing religious leaders on the need to preserve the peace in the country. Alhaji Muntaka Mubarak added all licenses of the guns would be digitally done to aid monitoring.
Now, every private security company that you see is supposed to be licensed by the Minister of Interior, signed by the Minister of Interior. And when you license a private security organization to go and help people, you are supposed to also determine which kind of people they can employ. I've seen that that's a gap, what we call the man guard. And now we give them the license. They just go out and collect any other person to go and man your homes. And sometimes they carry the thieves into your home. As going forward as ministry, we are going to insist that when we give you licenses, those that you can pick, we have to train them, do security clearance on them, certify that they are good people that you can engage to be able to use for the private security company that you have. The Minister for Interior is supposed to sign and authorize any gun that you see out there. Any person who is holding a gun that is licensed, then it means the Interior Minister authorizes it. But one of the funny things that I've noticed since I became Minister for Interior is that everything is done manual. And today if you come to the minister and ask me, so how many guns have you authorized so far? They have to go and bring the whole archive. One, we want to computerize it and digitalize it. Two, I want to give you license to have gun. I need to be sure that you can fire the gun. So I'm going to insist that before gun license is given to anybody, you have to go through a training for us to be sure that you can fire the gun. You even know how to handle the gun. Because we see people keep gun in their homes. and their children pick it in plane and they kill each other.
I'll take you back to the presidency where the swearing in of our new IGP had just finished, but my colleague Maxwell Akbakba is on standby to bring us some reactions.
Was here earlier taking photographs with family members. But let's speak to some of the personnel here. Okay, so we have here the former Greater Accra Director of Public Affairs, Ifya Tenge, here with us. She was, you were in hall before you retired. Ifya Tenge, kindly talk to us.
Yes, I was.
You were in hall before you retired?
Yes.
As the Director for Public Affairs?
Yes, for the Volta region.
I see a lot of excitement in your eyes.
Of course. We've been waiting for this day for so long.
Waiting for this day for so long.
Finally, and here. So we are here to celebrate with our new IGP.
Okay. If you've been waiting for this day for so long, what exactly were you waiting for? A replacement?
No, it was his dream to one day to also be an IGP. Okay. And you know, we also work closely with most of the former IGPs, including the just recent. Yeah. And so it is really a good news to all of us.
Okay. As a former police officer, what's your assessment of the outgone, IGP's administration?
He did his best. He did his best as an Inspector General of Police. And of course, we all cannot do it all. Each one of us would have to do our individual parts. So he has done his best, and he has left the face for a new face in the Ghana Police Service now. Thank you, Maxwell.
There are rumors flying around. Before you go, okay. Ifya Tenge, she's the former head of the Greater Accra Regional Police. She was transferred to the Volta region where she headed the police public affairs, there. But let me speak to, are you a police officer?
I'm a police officer. No, I'm not.
You're a policeman. Okay, but you're not in uniform.
Yeah.
You're in mufti today.
Yeah.
What's your name? What's your rank?
Undercover.
Undercover?
Yeah.
But you still want to talk?
No.
Well, he agreed to speak to us. Now he says no. Let's see if we can get more people we can speak to. Hello, sir.
Yes,
your police officer.
Police officer.
Yeah, your full name and then rank. Well, as you all know, for some of the police personnel here, they think it's a sensitive matter, so they will not comment. But there's a lot of excitement from the people that I've seen here. Some of them police officers, some of them retired police officers. Hi, what's your name, sir?
Yeah, Steven and Oyote.
Okay. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm a financial economist and also a family to the new IGP.
What's the mood like for you?
Oh, very, very happy. Historically, this is the second time we are getting an IGP that's hailing from our land. After we had a general commissioner, that's Majiti. So we feel excited that finally the position has come home again. And we are really proud of it. Yes. Yes.
What do you expect of the new IGP? What should be his priority areas? Which areas should he focus on? We saw a lot of police visibility during IGP Dampare's era. What do you think this new IGP should focus on?
Yes, like you said, like I can say, the former IGP has played his role, as you attested to the fact that we saw visibility. Yes, and we know Tete Christian Yono is a man with experience, and we are expecting a modernization in the Ghana Police Service. We are expecting a more friendly environment in the Ghana Police Service where the public will not see the police as an enemy, but they should work hand in hand in the friendly environment. Yes. That's what we are expecting from the new IGP, which we believe that he stands in a very top position to deliver. Yes.
Thank you very much for talking to us.
It's a pleasure, my brother.
Okay. Yeah, so the ceremony itself has ended here at the presidency at the Jubilee House. But as you can see, a lot of celebration going on here outside. Earlier, I spoke to former Yoko boss, COP Mametiwa, and she also expressed her joy, and excitement. Before the ceremony itself started, I saw the director for operations here at the presidency, COP retired Nathan Kofi Boachi. He shook hands with the new IGP, embraced him, and whispered something into his ears before they entered their ceremonial room for the swearing-in ceremony. Then at that point, I had a police officer who was standing behind me exclaim, "It is finished." It's a lot of excitement and hugging for the personnel, here. Many of them also with higher expectations.
Well, some excitement happening probably at the forecourt of the Jubilee House, where the swearing in of our new IGP has just ended, and Maxwell bringing us reactions. But again, still in the security sector, the president has been naming some new heads of security agencies, or better still, we shall call it appointment of new security chiefs. And on your screen by now, you'd see from the presidency communication says that President John Dramani Mahama has appointed the following security service chiefs. First person will be Director General of the Ghana Prison Service, DDGP 3, Patience Bafo Boni. And the second will be Chief Fire Officer, DCFO Daniela Mausi Into Sapong. And the third one will be the Comptroller General of the Ghana Immigration Service, DCI Samuel Basintale Amadou, and signed and with the names of Felix Kwachi Ofosu, MP, spokesperson to the President, Minister for Government Communications, on your screen there. I'll take you to Parliament, where the minority is demanding the presence of Vice President Professor Nana J. Nupokwa-Agyemang in the House on Tuesday to participate in a debate on the 2025 budget. Member of Parliament for Kankwe Central Patrick Boama, commenting on the presentation of the business statement for next week, said that the Vice President's extensive experience in the education sector should reflect in government's economic and financial policy. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent will join me for more. Kweku, I'm not too sure how the majority responded to this, if they have already, but bring us an update.
Before that, Assistant Vice President will come to the floor of Parliament and debate any major government policy, for that matter, a budget statement. But if you look at the standing orders, persons who are allowed to come to Parliament to debate, to comment on matters, include the President, the Vice President, Ministers of State, and Members of Parliament. Any other person is referred to as a stranger and are not allowed to get into the debating chamber of Parliament. It is on this basis that Patrick Boama and his side, the minority, are asking that the Vice President, Professor Nana J. Nupokwa-Agyemang, appears in the House next week, Tuesday, when the debate on the budget starts, to debate the budget. The presentation was made on Tuesday. Ordinarily, the debate would have started the next Wednesday, but the House had to wait for tomorrow and Sunday as well as Monday to hold a post-budget workshop, this time around not outside Accra because of cost concerns, but inside the Chamber of Parliament itself. It will be held tomorrow, opening ceremony. MPs will be taking through the budget as has been presented and the key issues. And the minority say the Vice President must come and debate the presentation. But we have been hearing from Isaac Adongo, the Chairman of the Finance Committee, who really believes that that is complete nonsense, that the Vice President, Mahmoud Bawumia at the time, never came to Parliament to debate the budget and economic statement or any other policy matter for that matter. And they do not believe that the Vice President currently, Nana J. Nupokwa-Agyemang, should be in the Parliament. She has other important matters to be taken care of, and the NPP side simply pushing political matters.
But for the standing orders, the women in Parliament, how were they taking this?
Well, a number of them were on their feet to catch the eye of the Speaker, to try and make some commentary on this. The Speaker eventually did not call them. He wanted to limit this to the leadership of the House. And then the matter of the IGP's dismissal also came up a little bit. And so ultimately, they did not speak to the female MPs who were on their feet to have a bite on this call by the minority for the Vice President, Professor Nana J. Nupokwa-Agyemang, to appear to debate the budget statement.
Parliament today. Anything else happening in Parliament today?
The matter having to do with the IGP's dismissal came up. The Vice President, the Minority Leader, Alexander Afenyomakin, says the presidency did not even thank IGP George Akuffo-Dampare, former IGP, for his service to the country. This is an observation a lot of people have been making. When persons are dismissed from office and new persons appointed, the public release will usually read along the line, the president thanked the IGP for his service to the country and wished him well in his future endeavors. That is what normally are in letters when persons are dismissed and new persons appointed in their stead. The statement put out last night by Felix Ofusua-Kwakye zoomed right in to announce the replacement in the person of COP Yohonu, who has now been sworn in as the new IGP. It did not say anything about the former IGP and what exactly his role will be in the future. Is he going to stay in the police service? Is he going to be reassigned? These are some of the concerns that the minority leader raised on the floor. Currently, the roads minister is answering questions that have been filed by MPs across the country on the poor state of the road in their conference.
Right, Kweku, thank you so much. When that is done, you definitely will bring us updates. Thank you. But by way of information, we may have heard that the president in today's speech at the swearing in of the new IGP did indeed thank the former IGP for his outstanding performance in the country. But away from that, I'll take you to the education sector, where the National Education Forum set up by President John Dramani Mahama is pushing for a parent-government partnership to fund the free SHS policy. The 8-member committee, led by former Pro Vice-Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Professor George Odro, was tasked to consult stakeholders in the educational sector and come up with recommendations to reform Ghana's education sector. The committee, at its validation forum, revealed that its report will be ready by March 28. James Aveji has more.
The National Education Consultative Forum has brought to a close its work here at the University of Professional Studies in Accra. Now, weeks ago, President John Dramani Mahama put this 8-member committee together, led by Professor George Odro, to hold a national education forum across the country and come out with some recommendations on how government could reform, or if you like, reset the educational sector. We caught up with chairman of the committee, Professor Odro, who indicates that most of the stakeholders are pushing for some key issues, especially a parent government funding of the free SHS.
Majority think that there should be a review. Boarding fees should be paid by parents. That's some view. Now, one view that came out strongly, which was very interesting, was that government should introduce lunch for both day students and boarding students, and then breakfast and
dinner
parents should pay for that.
So, when will President John Dramani Mahama receive the final document from your committee?
Hopefully, by 28th of March. We would have finished with the final report.
Away from that, beaches in Ankafo within that Infantiman municipality of the Central Region have been inundated with waste and open defecation. Despite the worsening conditions, food vendors continue to operate amid the filth, with cholera cases on the rise. Health officials warn of a crisis if urgent measures are not taken to halt these acts. Correspondent Erica Santi visited the Ankafo community and has more in this report.
From about 100 meters away, the stench from this beach greets visitors and residents alike. Once a place of relaxation, it has now become an eyesore, a dumping ground for refuse, a site for open defecation, and shockingly, a hub for food vendors. Health officials are warning that this growing sanitation crisis could put the entire community at risk. Acting Director of Health in the Central Region, Dr. Agnes Anani, says the situation directly threatens the fight against cholera.
We've introduced vaccination for 3 of our districts. And with our environmental assessments, we noticed that it was water, shortage of water, and also the environment, open defecation and refuse, indiscriminate dumping of refuse that are worrying. And when you walk along the coast, you still see people practicing open defecation, which is very worrying because the same water that will come and wash, sorry to say, the feces back into the water. And this water, you go along the shore, people, I remember when we went to Ifutu, we saw children washing their mangoes with water that they've taken from the sea. And this water, as we all know, if people are defecating along the coast, then you think that the water is contaminated. When you walk around, you see people dumping refuse everywhere. You go and heap of refuse on our streets. And I think with these two, if a law enforcement agency will help us so that people will stop defecating along the coast and also people will not throw their refuse anyhow, it will help us to be able to break this cholera transmission.
The dangers are not limited to adults alone. Children who play around these waste-filled areas are exposed to infections, respiratory issues, and skin diseases. Without interventions, this problem could only worsen. Unfortunately, some residents claim the pile of rubbish is acting as an artificial sea defense. Even though the assembly member of the area has solely funded the construction of a 100-seat capacity toilet, some residents were seen engaging in open defecation.
Because all things in papa, what they didn't quenny. Say, Obia Bosha, you may and ye, me see. Into Queen, one number of boy, and one boy in my body would fear. Most I see my mamma, my way be there, me, Tramutu.
You're watching News Today. We go for a quick break. When we come back, business and showbiz. Please stay.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the business segment on JoyNews Today with me, Pius Kojobaka. Accounting and auditing firm KPMG is urging the government to reconsider introducing the tax amnesty initiative to encourage defaulting taxpayers to fulfill their obligations. Commenting on the 2025 budget and, of course, economic policy, Kofi Brimpong Korea, partner at KPMG, emphasized that reviving the amnesty program would provide a significant boost to domestic revenue mobilization.
I think that for me, if you ask me, we should leave it as it is. We should leave it because I don't also want the impression to be created in the minds of taxpayers that government is stifling the refund process. And that's why at the tail end, I was even introducing the fact that, recommending the fact that maybe the Revenue Authority need to do a bit of tax amnesty and then maybe voluntary tax administration. The tax amnesty mostly pushes people to come forward to go through those processes because they know that maybe because there's an amnesty associated with it, if I come forward to disclose my portion, I can either get my refund or I can be made to pay the tax that I owe without any penal measures. So it's a combination of all factors. Government should ensure that they are not staffing the Revenue Authority in paying the taxes that are due taxpayers because that in itself will then make people go under the radar. But if they open it up, taxpayers will know that no, even if I overpay, there's a tendency for the government or the Revenue Authority to pay me back my money. And that is also to ensure some confidence in the tax system. So that's what I would recommend.
Country manager and partner for Forvis Mazars Ghana, an audit firm in Ghana, Ernest Akuno, has stressed the importance of technology in taxation. According to him, this is key in streamlining taxes. He spoke to Joy Business at the company rebrand from Mazars to Forvis Mazars.
Forvis Mazars Ghana says it remains committed to delivering high-quality financial and advisory solutions combining global expertise with deep local knowledge. Speaking to Joy Business, country partner Ernest Akuno reiterated the company's commitment to providing high-impact solutions leveraging global best practices while staying deeply rooted in the Ghanaian business environment.
People have come to realize that we are also a strong force to reckon with, and not just also runs or people that you think that you can just run over and win. Because we've actually been able to grapple with some top jobs from the Big Four, which means that they have confidence in the process. Well, as I said earlier, our firm drives on technology and innovation. So we are not left behind in the competition. So as far as we are concerned, we will pull all the stops to make sure that we are up to date as far as the technology is concerned. Obviously, we are software that we use to do our work is global, web-based, and somebody sitting anywhere in the world can review work that is being done here. And I also want to add that as far as technology is concerned, we are up to scratch.
Forvis Mazars Ghana retains its status as a Grade A1 firm as recognized by the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana.
That's it for business. Show business next.
Welcome back to News Today, and moving on with some more stories. The South African High Commissioner to Ghana, Thando Dalamba, has praised the impact of the visa waiver agreement between Ghana and South Africa, citing a notable increase in travel between the two nations. Speaking at the Accra Polo Club's Independence Cup, an event supported by the South African High Commission and the West African Office of South African Tourism, Dalamba revealed that more than 35,000 Ghanaians visited South Africa between January and December 2024.
South Africa is one of the most diverse and captivating travel destinations in the world, offering a unique blend of natural beauty, rich history and culture. From the stunning landscapes of Table Mountain to the vast wildlife reserves of Kruger National Park, South Africa presents a wealth of experience for every type of traveler. Known as the Rainbow Nation, its cultural diversity is reflected in its traditions, languages, and more.
Extraction, you've done a great job.
The event at the Accra Polo Club, supported by the South African High Commission and the West Africa Office of South African Tourism, brought people from diverse backgrounds together at the Accra Polo Club for a memorable experience rooted in South African culture. Guests also enjoyed the Accra Polo Club's Independence Cup match between South Africa and Ghana, which highlighted the strong ties between the two nations. In an interview, acting South African High Commissioner to Ghana, Thando Dalamba, emphasized how the visa waiver between Ghana and South Africa has boosted travel to South Africa.
Yes, you know what, we're involved as the South African High Commission when it comes to waiver of visa requirements for both Ghanaians and South Africans. Yes, even our Minister of Tourism, he even confirmed, you see, before the last tourism in Indaba, that was in South Africa. It's a yearly event whereby the minister said there was a spike of 249% of Ghanaians going to South Africa. It shows that the waiver of visa, it was one of the impediments, but since it has been waived, so now people, they are starting to explore each other's country. So it was in a good direction. And also, you see, as I provided statistics earlier, that Ghanaians from 1st of January last year up until December last year, 36,656 to be precise, that Ghanaians they visited South Africa.
Former Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development of South Africa, Jeff Radebe, who was also at the event, said it would strengthen the relationship between the two countries, reinforcing the cultural and diplomatic connections between the two nations.
It's very exciting to be here in Ghana, the Black Star of Africa, the first ever independent country against colonialism in 1957. We are very desirous in South Africa to strengthen not only political relations between South Africa and Ghana, but strong economic relations, because the vision of our leaders, the Vision 2063, is what we want to see in Africa. So I'm very happy that this tournament between Ghana and South Africa Polo happens as part of the celebrations of the 68th anniversary of the independence of the great people and government of Ghana.
And you'll be excited about this one. Ghana's rich culinary heritage is taking center stage this Ghana month. The Ghana Culture Forum, in partnership with the Ghana Tourism Authority, is shining a spotlight on traditional Ghanaian dishes in celebration of flavor, culture, and identity. According to Mami Ifwa Hwajato, CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority, this event is not just about food, it's about showcasing Ghana's traditions and putting the country on the global map. Now let's head over to the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, where Jacqueline and Sumayebwa is live with more details.
Here, and I'm enjoying myself, even though I haven't tasted any food yet. We have a lot of people thronging this place just to have a taste of Ghanaian food as we celebrate Ghana Month. But then I'm currently at the center where we'll be tasting the food with one of the chefs here. Can you tell us your name?
My name is Chef Goba, and I'm the programs coordinator for the Chefs Association of Ghana.
Okay, all right. So what are you serving us today?
Today we are tasting 68 at 68, and then as you can see right behind me, we have diverse variety African cuisine, I mean Ghanaian cuisine. Typical example is a preprensa. We have in the local vibe a preprensa. We do have angwamo. We do have samacheke. Yeah, and then over there you can see we have some kose sandwich. That is pretty new, but then you should try that.
I would definitely try that.
And then over there we do have some macheke, we have kosiani meko, we have gari foto. Moving on, we do have some jollof. I made mention of angwamo already. Ultimately, we have red. But then guess what? A lot of variety to try out today.
Yes, definitely. But then do you think this, as part of Ghana Man's celebration, is definitely going to put Ghana on the map?
Yes, that is the main idea. And then when you have these visitors coming in, they come in and they want to try the African cuisine, and then guess what? They love the flavors, because look, everything in here is pretty much natural, and then you get to feel that energy when you're done eating.
Well, that is one of the chefs. We'll get to taste the food pretty soon. I'll come back to you. But then I also have Nana Asase joining me here. I spotted him here. Nana, what are you doing here today? Are you here just to talk or to eat?
Oh, today I came to sit down to listen to the brofo.
Are you sure?
Yeah, and
but
then
I don't see you over there, but you're here.
And then to taste, because at the point I realized, say yakasa. Also yakasa and suja one day. And to brofo so me barbecue. So I just came here to actually see the 68. You realize that we have a lot of Ghanaian foods we do not realize or recognize, all the way from starters to main courses, and it's important. As a cultural consultant and curator, I want to know. I have seen, I have heard, I talk about it, I need to taste. Or I needed to be here. Look, this is beautiful, and I hope this is an initiative that will be continued.
What's your favorite food, by the way?
Gary Soakins.
Gary Soakins, but I'm not sure we have Gary Soakins.
I'm sure somewhere along the line.
68.
Yeah, in the meantime, I can manage some apapransa or impoto, lock it with some gankinki and, every other protein you can imagine.
Thank you, Nana Asase. I'll definitely come back to you whilst you get your food. But then, as you can see in the frame, we have the CEO herself, Mami Ifwa Hwajato. Let me quickly engage her real quick. CEO, you are currently live on Joy News right now. Real quick, what's your favorite food here?
I'm not looking, but my favorite food is fancy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
I'll go to the fancy stand, but for now I'll try the acheke, kelewele and tilapia. It's also a delicacy, and I'd like to try that as well. There's so much here. There's apapransa, there's the Ghanaian grilled chicken, there is a kose sandwich, there's Ghanaian salad over there, acheke, kelewele, beans. I mean, the list is...
I haven't tasted fancy before.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, it's a meal made out of fresh fish, grouper. So what we do is that when you have a big grouper, you cut the grouper into pieces, and you just have to use it with fresh fish. So you cut the grouper into pieces, stew it with tomatoes, onions, pepper, and all of that. But what makes it different is that your onions and garlic must be tasty because of the fresh fish, So it's like gravy, but it's a little watery. It's watery stew, with fresh fish. And it's such a delicious meal. Healthy and delicious.
Right. Well, we just heard from the CEO, but right about now, the dignitaries, the minister herself is here, Honorable Jifa Gomashi. She'll definitely come here, see the food that is being presented here. Then the Taste 68 at 68 would kickstart itself. But as we've spoken to the chef, we've spoken to the CEO, there are a lot of Ghanaian food in here. But let me move to the other side here. Let's get a quick look at other foods that we have here. I can see kenke, I see kokonte and granite soup, I see wakple. That's MFR's favorite. A lot of food. I see ablongo, a lot of food that personally I haven't tasted before. But then stick with us as we bring you more on the Taste 68 at 68 event happening right here at the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. You all are missing out.
And Jackie couldn't just get it wrong. It has to be akple, but I cannot get over that kilewili that I saw. So come and let's go to the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. But she'll bring us details from that interview with the Minister, Honorable Jifa Gomashi, a bit later in subsequent bulletin. And that'll be all for today on News Today with me, Mfa Akosia Adeti. For more news, though, do log on to myjoyonline.com. But please stay for Marketplace.